Good morning, everyone. Welcome to week 9, our first class for week 9. Today we'll be doing review. I noticed that the biggest issue we've had so far is responsiveness. So I thought we should step back a little and look at responsive design before we move forward, so that I won't be getting, I don't want, moving forward, I don't want any issue on grading I don't want to have any issue with responsiveness when grading again. So if you have issue with responsiveness, this is an opportunity to observe and learn, right? So this is Faith's work for the most recent task. And as you can see, there's so much scroll to the side. Now this scroll makes it unresponsive for this device size. And this is what's causing this scroll. These items that are being kept on the row like this. That's what's causing this scroll, right? For this screen size. And then you notice that there are some little issues here. Same thing with this part, this scroll. I don't know Faith, what were you trying to do here? Is this a full image or is this half image? Let me understand.
I have not done the functionality. This is like when you click on those buttons, you are scrolling. But basically, what I did overlay hidden, so that I forgot to do that one for the second one. That's why it's stretching that long, because it's meant to be a carousel, so that when the user is clicking on that button, things will not be sliding in on the other one like that.
Okay, so that means you should be able to scroll when I try to move it like this now, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've not added that functionality.
Yeah, that's a good approach to handling it too. But when you find it difficult, or if you don't have time, in scenarios where you don't have time enough to handle a carousel, let's say for something like a task like this, what you can do is just reorient it for this screen to make sure that all these cards display horizontally instead of displaying display vertically instead of displaying horizontally, right? So you can give them a column view instead of a row view. Do you understand?
Yes.
Exactly. That way now you would have still submitted this and you would have gotten your grade pending while you are working on making your functionalities work, right? So let us just put it in practice and see. Okay. So git clone. So yeah, let's continue to look at the responsiveness for this code. So you see that the same issue is happening here. The same issue is going on here. It should not be. So what you did here right? Why didn't you replicate it here? Because assuming you had two cards for each row here, it would have worked for this screen, right? Are you following?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, it would have worked for this screen and it would have still given you a very consistent design, right? So why I'm taking this, why we are looking at this responsiveness is because I know there are many scenarios where you are not going to be given responsive Figma design. It's something you need to come up with on your own. So understanding how to, or making the right decision when handling responsiveness is very important. Layouting. So for this now, imagine if you lay this out two cards per row, you can easily solve the problem of the horizontal scroll, right? Because now everything will enter into this page. And then you have to take note of some kind of design modification when you do them. So let's assume that we are now using two cards here. That means there's no need for any over scroll, right? You have to remove these buttons for this screen. Do you understand?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Any other person? Are we carrying the class along? I'm not speaking to only Faith. Okay, Udo, you're raising your hand. Okay. Udo, why are you raising your hand? Speak.
Okay, coach. I was actually raising it before you started this responsiveness because I had some questions from watching the previous videos. So I don't know if I can take them now or you want to complete the responsiveness so
No,
that when we're asking questions, we just ask at once.
we'll finish the design first. Let's finish the responsiveness first.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so just give me a second. Okay, hold on, it's taking a little bit long. Should be done in a second. Come on. Understand. All right, so okay, so let's go on. We're going to replace this with this. So for each of these sections, come on, what's happening? Hello guys, hold on, I'm facing some technical issues. All right, so if we comment this out, you can hear what disappears, okay? So these houses, section title, section heading, sales product. Okay, so this is our sales product. And we have a flex here. So let's assume that we give it a grid. And then say grid two columns too. So if you come here, good. So you see that our big columns are on two. Let me know if I'm too fast to our big columns are on two, though we are still having that scroll. So we want to overflow hidden. So for this whole session, I don't know. Let's see why you're using overflow hidden.
That so it's coming from the other aspect.
Sorry?
I think the scroll is coming from the next one, which is the browse category component, I mean the section. So
Yeah, sure. But this place is not still good because what you did here, that mute yourself, please. Just write in the text box next time. So if you see here, you see that there's so much space here. There's too much space on this side of your code. So you see that everything is oriented to the left, to the right, if you notice. So that's something that should be checked. Well, I want to, is this section a component? Okay. So you have this and empty. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Come back to him. Because you have the CSS. Is that your only CSS file? Okay. All right, let's go back in there. All right. So this is where your issue was. This good. So you see that it's centralized now. Are you guys following? Yes, why were you using it in the first place, madam? Good. So for this now, you see that automatically this code has become responsive with just one very little line of code that was added, right? Now, if we replicate the same thing for the what's the name of that session, madam? What's the name? Is it the new arrivals? So this section, this one, is this new arrival? Oh, okay, that's bestseller. Okay, that's not new arrival, that's bestseller. Okay. So bestseller, title, blah blah. So are we still using the same components here? Who's that? I'm busy. So say grid column, and we'll say the same too. And then good. So you see that horizontal scroll automatically has disappeared. Code with just one addition, the code is working, or our responsiveness is done. Are we following? Do we understand what is happening here? Good. So now, for this thing that I just did now, it is going to affect everything in this code if I don't specify the screen that I want it to affect. So now we can allow the flex to exist for screen size of let's say Excel, for screen size of Excel, right? And then we're now saying for all other screen sizes, we want to utilize a grid to handle them, right? So we can now, let's see if, so for MD, which is for tab view, good. And you see that for LG, it's still giving us 2 columns. So that means we need to change it to LG, to large. And with that, this should not be showing again. Still showing 3. Oh wait, this is bestseller. Okay. Okay, bestseller. So yeah, for bestseller, we have realigned it back to, let's use Excel. Be sure. Good, so Excel works. Okay, so we go back to our flash sale and do the same thing. Excel flex. So all right, so for Excel, we might want to, okay, yeah, you already have the hidden stuff happening here. So it's already hidden. Yeah, when you go, you can do your you can undo your functionality for this one, right? And this if you need to. But basically, right now, this is not going to scroll sideways anymore. So now, if we go to our mobile screen now, you might notice that there might be Exactly. So you see that there's a lot happening here in mobile screen. You see what's happening to this? It's scattered now. And definitely the scroll is still there, right? The scroll is still there. So what we'll do now for this is specify that we want this grid to affect only the tab screen. So if we save this, you see for the mobile screen has automatically arranged itself. All right. Are we following? So for this mobile screen now, you notice that they are literally touching each other because there's no space between them, right? Ideally now, this can be something that will want to confuse you, but it shouldn't. All you need to do is specify that when you come here, you just specify that, okay, for medium screen upward, right? I don't want to have any margin bottom, right? I don't want to have any margin bottom, so margin bottom of 0. That is for medium screen upward. But for mobile screen, I want to have margin bottom of 4. Okay, so we are going to need to bring this code a little bit in, so take it to the card. So this is where we are going to have that code. And then we look and see. Good. So you can see now that it has space under. But if we go to our tab screen, that space will not affect this screen, right? And likewise, it will not affect this screen. So it's still giving you a consistent design because you are specifying what you want to do with the style that you are giving. So you see that everything here is looking good now. So all we need to do is replicate the same thing for the bestseller and say, come here and specify this for MD and these two for MD. Right? And then so I believe, Faith, I believe you are using the same card component here. Good. All right. So if we come back here, we should have the same effect happening. And that is a responsive design at its simplest form. Are we together? Anybody confused? Why you guys not saying anything? Is everybody okay? Is everybody fine with what I've explained so far? Udo, your hand is raised again, or mute.
Okay, I was just about to type on the chat. No, I'm not. Just curious about this, would I call it technique or platform you're using to check this responsiveness. I don't know if you can share it. I don't know it.
Oh, don't worry. Well, of course, I can share the name of the application, but I think for now you should just be satisfied with the typical way you're checking your responsiveness. So let me just switch to that way so that you guys are carried along. All right, so okay. So as you can see, everything is still the same. You are still I can still check. I can still check the responsiveness using this method. So you see, this is the tab view that we just demonstrated using the other application, but definitely I'll send it to you. This is the tab view, and this is the mobile view. So you see that for this mobile view, no matter how small I go, it is very much arranged. I think there is an issue here, looking a little bit too much on this side. So that can be caused by the size of the card. So let's see the card. What with that for? Good. So this is possibly where the issue is coming from. So so when you are giving width of, try to use Tailwind, utilize Tailwind's capabilities. So you see that for Tailwind, you see that for Tailwind, if you check well, you can see different percentage size. Now, percentage is the easiest way to handle stuff like when it comes to width, right? Because now you are just defining that, okay, you want to take a particular percentage of the full screen width for it. And now why that is ideal is because it can be consistent on all screen sizes, right? Because 70% of the screen is going to be 70% of the screen on laptop. It's going to be 70% of the screen on mobile. It's going to be the same 70% of the screen on tab view, right? So it gives you a more consistent. So let's say we give that max width. Let's say we give max width to be to be 25%, right? And we check our code again. Where is that? Yeah. No. Where do we have? Okay. Yeah. All right. Good. So if we come here now, okay. The mass width. Hold on. But I should also tweak the mass height. Good. So as you can see, everything is compacted now. You see that the spacing here is equal to the spacing here. So all I've done here now is I've said that for this screen size, I want to utilize 25% of the width, right? Okay, I see what happened there. We shouldn't be using 25% of height. Let's use feet. Let's see what happens with full first. Okay, then let's remove it completely. Okay, so for height, we can actually utilize the height the way it was. Okay, yeah. So, but for width, you see that because we are using 25% now, we have this space, everything, because we're using percentage, all this space is equal now for this screen size. So if we expand, you see that it expands with the screen size. And we do same here, it also expands with the screen size, leaving equal space on both sides, making it properly responsive. Are we following? Are we together? Are we together, everybody? Okay, whose hand is raised? Udo, yeah, speak.
Okay, please, a quick one. That's 25% that you gave
Mhm.
it at at a small screen. So it's all the other screens takes it, right?
No, I'm just saying this should be the minimum. This should be the lowest that this card should go. It should not be less than this. So for mean width, I'm just saying that for any screen size, the smallest width of this card should be 1/4, which is at 25% that we choose, right? Do you
Yeah,
understand?
but what I'm asking now is you at what do you call it? Media
There-
query did you do it?
There's
Is it
no
from the
exactly.
mobile view
So
or from the
oh no. So there's no media
uh,
query on this now. Hold on. So there's no media query on this now. That's why we are using mean width. If I want to use media query now, I will say I will now take this out, and then that means I want to define for each screen, right? I'll now say maybe I'll leave this as small screen, then I'll say MD, and maybe give MD width of like say let's use let's say width of 80 over 5. So let's say width of 84 over 5, right? So if we come back to our code, so this is not, this is too small. And then I'll need to put okay, good. Okay, so we have, so as you can see now, you see that we are now defining our width, or like we are defining the width by ourselves now. But if you notice, we have this here. That means there's another place where we should replicate the width for us to have a consistent design. Material. Let's control. That's where it's. Yeah. Good. Okay. So you can see now, but Udo, you see that now we are now defining these screens. That's why they are, you see that it's inside. The space is bigger, right? Because we're not using the whole mean width and mean height thing. What mean width does is it adapts to the screen size. It helps your code would adapt to the screen size that is available. Do you understand? But for this now, we are now saying explicitly we want this to be the size for MD and this to be the size. Well, we can actually change this and say maybe 5, 6. Let's use that. Okay. Let's say, so that was 4/6. Let's do 90. Good. Let's do 11. Let's do 11, 12.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, you know that Tailwind normally starts from the smaller screen. Whatever you do is from the smaller screen. So my question was that minimum width that you gave, you gave it on the smaller screen and then it now affects all the other screens, or you
So
gave it from the larger
that's what I'm
screen
trying to
and then
explain to you. That's what I'm trying to explain
okay.
to you. affects all the screens. It's not specific to one screen. It adapts to all the screens. So why I did that, I did not identify a particular media query to give that style. That style is supposed to affect all the screens. It's saying that this should be the minimum width of this card for any screen size.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Good, exactly. Yeah, Faith, yes, exactly. So for M Auto only brings, once you give it the width, right? If you don't use M Auto, it aligns the code to your left, right? So now instead of manually giving it margin left to bring it into the center, margin auto just automatically aligns it to the center of your screen, dividing the remaining part of that screen. It divides it into two and places half on the right and half on the left, thereby centralizing your card. Faith, is that what you're asking? Is that clear? All right. So now, this still, yeah, you can use this method, but at the same time, we don't necessarily need to do that. We can maintain the code the way it was. Okay. So we can maintain it like this, and we still have our result. Okay. So for this very application now, you see that we have a responsive design. And no matter how small we go, our design stays responsive. So I hope you guys learned something now with regards to responsiveness. For those who did not, for those who have been having troubles with responsiveness, I hope you learned something. Okay, so let's go ahead. That's for Faith. So Faith, fix the issues that you have and push. And that's for Faith. So let's check. So let's go ahead and check this dashboard code. But before we go ahead to check dashboard code, I want to address something. Give me a second. So I was hoping that somebody, or at least one person, would figure out that there's an issue with your deployment. When you deploy your code, like let's use this person now. Once I refresh this code or try to view it on a different screen, this is what I get. 404 not found. And this has been repeating itself for almost, in fact, everybody's code. This is what I experience with everybody's code. And then I wonder, is it that nobody here does research? So you cannot research why am I getting 404? Or you don't always get this 404 on your code? Of course, yes, it's Vercel problem, but it's solvable. That's why people are developers. It's solvable. You are supposed to research. You see an issue like that, you research and solve the problem. And I've been very quiet about it, trying to see if someone will take the initiative, but nobody. So yes, that's an issue with Vercel, and it is solvable. So check documentations, check the issue. Good. Check what is wrong. If you don't solve the problem, then our next class, I will show you how to solve the problem. But I don't want to see this 404 again when I refresh a page. It's making grading very difficult for me. So go ahead and figure it out. Or let me see if I can give you guys resource to figure it out. Hmm. Okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. 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 I'm here. Hold on, guys. I'll be with you guys in a second. Okay, so that we don't delay this class, I would send a resource to you on Discord. Let's just go ahead with the class. Okay, so let's get this person's code and see what is happening with responsiveness. Okay, let's install and move on. Okay. Mhm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on this. Good. So let's look at, wait, where is that code? Okay, so let's go ahead and check for our, so we have pages, registration page, and then we have dashboard, okay? So we want to work on the dashboard. Where is the table? Where is this code? Okay, so let's look at, we have members. So from here, okay, let's look at those members. This month one, then total customers, members, 1% this month, total customers. Okay, 1% this month, total customers. So who wrote this code? And why is it not reused? Why didn't you create a reusable card here to handle this? To handle this. Okay, so let's just go ahead and see the issue. This person, I don't know why this person will put like this shot. Both move. Let's move it. Hello guys, I hope you guys are there. Pardon me, I have to fix this person so that we can work with it properly. Okay, now that we have, okay, now that we've been able to classify them properly, yeah, so we have our code done now. All we need to do now is save for LG. We don't want to handle MD with flex. If we want flex to only happen for LG, yeah, and then we want the width for small screen to be full. Let's next one. Energy. That's fine. Okay. I'm not sure we can use this person's code to do this stuff. Let's use somebody that does something decent with their code. But I don't know why after teaching modularization, you just pack all your code and keep in one place like this. It's crazy. Let's more can do it. So for this, first we are trying to reduce this whole view, right? So let's give this, we change it from, we gave it width of full, let's give it 50%. Okay. So we have 50%, let's, okay. So as you can see now, this code, we have reduced some things here. We have brought this one closer so that it can fit into the screen size that we are working with, right? Now, we want to bring the search input field closer as well. So for this now, we'll say we only want to handle flex from MD. So if we do that, search box should come down. As you can see, the search box has come down. So we can also give the search box the same width that we give to our code here. So we give 50%. So let's give this forward view 50%. Move Good. Okay, so let's do the same for okay. So we have this here for this for the search box. We want to give it a little bit of spacing between them on small screen. So we say empty of 4. But since we don't want it to affect MD, I say MD empty of 0. Okay, so we have space between hello and search box, and we also have our code here looking good. All right. We might want to keep this. Let's reduce the margin. The margin now and see the padding. Let's reduce padding. So for this, for padding, where to put padding? People need to do better. It's not even impressive at all. Are we together? Are you guys with me? We're trying to debug your colleague's code. Okay, so let's just move to the table. So for the table now, we want to also replicate this width for the table. So let's go find our table. So this is our table. Yeah. Sorry, rain is falling now, so pardon if you can't hear me clearly, just bear with me, okay? All right, so for this now, we say, so this is the width for the table. What width did we use earlier? Mean width of 50%, right? So if we check our code, now, okay, so the table did not take the width. Good. So yeah, that's not inclusive of the table. So what we need now is scroll. So we say overflow. Okay, so overflow. Let's, you know, so say overflow X auto, and replace this code here. So place it where the table. Let's place it here and see what happens. Good. So as you can see, we have our overscroll flowing, right? But what we want, we don't want to overflow the whole of this section. All we want to overflow is the table itself, right? So we can come here and fix this top side of the code and say for active members and all right, so for active members, good. So for that section of the code, we want to arrange them properly for small screen, right? We want to arrange them properly for small screen. So we say for this, all customers and search button, we don't want them to flex. Good. So we have some sort of a consistent view now. And this button is now within this section of the code, right? Now we still need to add a little bit of padding to our work. Say px of say 4. Good, so that we can have some spacing and have some decent view of what we are building, right? But since we are still scrolling the whole table right now, we want to remove this from here. Okay, so if we remove that from there, you see that it's only the table that is outside of our view. Every other thing is within our mobile device view, but the table is outside. So all we need to do is come to the div holding the table. So apparently he did not use any div to hold the table. So we are going to just create one and say div class name and attach this here. And then for table, we want to give it this div. Okay, so if we check our code now, we should be able to scroll only the table now. Are we together? Are we following, guys? Any question? Hello, are we following? Any question? I need response, please, so that we can move. So let me assume there's no question. Okay, good. So now if we come down to this part of the code now, we see that it's still not properly oriented, right? So even for the table itself is looking kind of weird. Yeah, but I'm not going to work on that. What I wanted, do we need to reduce the font of the table? It's not necessarily. You can, yeah, you can, especially for small screen, but it doesn't have to like change the whole design of your application, right? Just maybe because you don't want it to look too bogus, and then maybe you want to visualize a little bit more columns on the first view before you can now scroll to see others, right? So yeah, you can reduce your font size to achieve that. So for this part of the code now, we can come back and check. Pardon, sorry. So we can come here and check now. So this is where we are handling the pagination view. So for pagination view, we discovered that we can still say For MD, we don't want to flex. For small screen, we don't want to flex, right? And basically, this whole component needs to have some margin bottom, which it doesn't. Margin bottom. So let's check it from here. Okay, so okay, yeah, space where should be margin bottom. Okay. Good. Okay. So we have this now. We can now visualize this. So as you can see, it's not giving the best of view because we are still having a little bit of horizontal scroll here. So we might want to work on this a little bit more. So let's say for this view, we want to reduce and display 1 to 3, then spread to 4 to 40, right? It's pagination. It's something that can be manipulated. I don't understand why this first one is so little. EX3 PY1, and then for this button. Okay. So as you can see, we have this table, this whole table view is now responsive. And it's not even rocket science. Are we following? Are we together? Udo, do you have a question?
Sorry, sir. Still looking
Your voice is cracking.
at it. Network affected me at one point. Disrupted me at one point, but I'm looking at it.
Okay, but you understand what we've done so far. Just little edits here and there, and we are looking good already, right? So now we have a responsive
Sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me? So now we have a responsive design for the dashboard, right? For mobile screen. Let's look at what we have on tab view. So as you can see for tab view, we still have some issues with tab view because yes, it's not scrolling, but we have all this real estate here that's not containing any information, right? Which is wrong. So if we need to check why is our code not covering the whole screen? That can be a major challenge, right? So let's go ahead and check why our code, our dashboard is hanging to one side on medium screen. So Excel, blah, blah, blah. HSV. It's okay. Let's see. Ninja update GSS. Loading the GIS Firebase. This is fun. That's fun. So this one. Okay. Let's say we have 90% here. That's 11 over 12. Okay. About don't give it the Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm still with you guys though. So let's figure out why we are not having a consistent view. All right, so we still have a little bit of space. What's that phone? The phone is extending. Okay, so we're good. So apparently it was the margin, the padding that was giving us a little bit of it there. Okay. So we have this, and we can say form for this. Okay. Okay. All right. So you see that as soon as we get this, we got this with sorted, our code worked and it displayed normally. So there's still no room here to see the difference between this session and the sidebar. So we can go ahead and give our table a little bit of margin to that side for MD. Margin 0, just to see good. Okay, so we have it. We have our code working. We can also give some margin to this section. So we can say for that section, let's say MD margin 2. Okay. Margin 2 did not work. Did not open up the space well. Okay, it's MX. Let's say MX4. All right. So MX4 is good. For that, I think we should still add to this and give it make it 4 to have a consistent view. All right, good. So as you can see, our table, our text tab view, our tab view is responsive now. But ideally, this doesn't look good the way it is arranged here. So I'm just going to return for tab view. I'm going to say return everything. Good. So we stop this from flexing for tab view. All right. Did we? Okay, so I'm still having a flex. Why? And flex 2. My bad. Okay. So we have it on MD, it can now flex, and then we can if the gap. So for MD we had, so we can say gap of 4. All right. Okay, so we have our code. Then maybe we want to, I think this is good enough. So as you can see, we have our tablet view responsive, right? Are we together? Are we good? Respond, I want to take care of one more repo. You are listening, do you understand? Okay, all right. Okay, let's go. So with this now, we see that our desktop view is, our tablet view is responsive, right? And that brings us to our desktop view, right? So as you can see, at first, we're not covering the whole of our code of the screen, right? But now it seems like we're heading towards there. So let's solve the problem for desktop screen. So let's start from here. I think we'll start from the beginning. So for this Excel, the width is 900 px, which should not be. So let's just maintain the full width. Good. So we have full width here. And we are almost there with regards to covering our screen. So we come back here and say, why are we not covering that screen? We say, okay. So we have from MD, we have mean width of 90. So is it possible that this is causing an issue? Let's check it. So we say for LG, we want to give it full. Good, so for this, we have full screen. So I'm not sure I want to use this. Let's use this. Good, so we have full screen and we're good to go for this. I think for all of them, I want to use. Okay, we'll figure that out. Let's solve this screen. So for this now, we've taken the whole width of the screen, right? And we want to replicate that with, let's see why the height is, okay, good. So we're also covering the height now. All right, so we can go ahead and help these ones fill up the space, right? So we come here and we say, for this section, we don't want to use mean width. We just want to make it full. Okay. So for some reason, so let's give it 90%. Okay. Let's give it 95. Is 95 too much? No. Okay, that's good. So we can also do the same for our table. Where we say okay. So as you can see now, we are good to go. Our desktop view is responsive. Our tab view is responsive. And we also have our mobile view responsive. So our mobile view is not responsive anymore. Or actually it is. Okay. So let's fix that mobile view, right? Let's say for mobile view, we want to give it 50%. Okay, so not 15. I want to give it 90%. It's 95. All right. Then for some reason, I'm going to dip into this section. So I want to bx and x. mx12. And then just use m02. It should work better than mx. Yeah, okay. So we are good to go here. Okay, for the top of this view, we still want to yeah, 95. Okay, all right, so we are good here. So this works now. So we check this, we're good. Then we check this, and we're good. All right. So if we check, okay. So when we looked at this code at first, right? For this now, we can actually make this look better, right? By giving it justify between. So let's just give it a justify between and see what happens. So now this justifier, and let's give it justify between. Okay. That's one. Justify. Justify. Okay. This is where I need to put it. Okay, so this is where it should be. Here. Please say Excel. Justify between. Manager. Okay, so why is it not working? Okay, so seems to not want to work. Let's figure out why. So we have this, and we have this, and we have this, yeah. And we have this. So something is really okay. Yeah, it's possible. That's what I'm thinking too. But it should work anyways, regardless. It should actually work. Yeah, because basically we have three diffs here, and we have flex, and we have justify between. It should work. There's a lot of redundant code in this person's work, but that's why we are going through all this stress. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Hmm. Let's return this person's code back to what it was. Anosika. You never know, man. All right, so let's give it this. All right. It's not there yet. Still not so centralized. So 95. Okay. Let's work with it like this. Gap, let's use for there's gap right there. So, yeah. Okay, so the number transition is already there. The person already has the number transition done. So I'm not sure we need that for this class. Even though it's not smooth, but we're already behind time. I want to take another. Go ahead and figure out your navbar transition. What you can do for this navbar transition, when you are opening it, all right, you can open it for the navbar and maybe set the navbar to float. You can float the navbar using position, right? Absolute or whichever one you decide to use. You can actually use that to float the navbar over this, or you can conditionally reset the size of this section of your dashboard. So you can reduce the size of this dashboard based on the click happening here. So you can have like for this click event here, you can add another function that toggles this size, that toggles the size of the screen. So you can say for this size now, you want it to be 90%, right? Or 95%. Then when you toggle it, you want it to reduce to 80%. You do what fits into this view, right? Are we clear? Do you understand? Okay, all right, good. So let's go on. Let's look at one more. We're done. Time is done. So I believe that we should not have this kind of issues with responsiveness again, right? Am I correct? Can I say that I won't have this problem again? Okay, all right. Okay. So let's look at one more stuff, then we can go. This one is not much, it's just little edits. But we still need to download this person's repo. So for all the people that use their code to do this work, I'm not going to push their code. So you can all use the videos to modify your work. And please, I need you guys to move forward like ASAP. I don't want to have anybody in stage 2 or stage 3 again. That is why I'm taking my time to have this class with you guys, right? I don't want to hear that anybody is still struggling with responsiveness. Technically, sir, I should not even bother myself about this, because from what I've done, you should be able to figure out how to arrange this stuff. What's the name of this one? What's this? What's all this stuff that I'm seeing? Who has this code? Why? What's all this? How am I having React landing page inside React landing page inside? Hmm. Okay. Our time is up. Maybe during the weekend I can just fix a class where we can look at this one and move. But look at this. This is a whole mess. This is a mess. We don't have time to handle this. Okay. Let's move on. Thank you guys for having me today. I hope that this class was beneficial to all of you. For those that I hope it was beneficial to those struggling with responsiveness, especially for dashboard. So go back, watch this class, try to apply these little techniques that I've showed you to your work and see how you can improve on what you have already. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.